I'm out here doing a little bit more work tonight, and this bike is a 1986 Ninja 1000, and it's the star of the movie as far as motorcycles are concerned. And I was really fortunate. I got this bike, got it off of eBay, and it was up in Wisconsin. So bought it from the guy, drove up to Wisconsin and back to Austin in one weekend, my son and I. And it's only got 7,400 miles on it. It's in great shape. It's an awesome bike. And there's only one little problem, and that's the fork seals are leaking. So what I'm going to do tonight is take this bike, jack it up. All this cowling is coming off. The entire front fairing, the gas tank will come out. And I'm going to pull the front suspension off the bike. Then I will dismantle the front forks, pull out the old seals, put some new seals in. And then I'll go through the process of putting some oil in, and then resetting up the compression, rebounding, and getting it back ready to go. And that should be the only thing that I have to do. And that's not bad for a bike that's almost 20 years old. So I'm going to get after it. I want to get it done and make sure she's ready to go. We're going to do some test footage this weekend. And we got a nice little camera mount that we're going to put on the tank there. So I'm going to get after it and hang out with me for a while. Well, I've got all the front end off, got the brake calipers removed, and I'm getting ready to pull this right front fork leg out. You see that green bungee cord going across the top of the bike? That's my fancy tool for holding the calipers up, because the calipers are attached to the brake line. And if you don't suspend it with something, then all the pressure is held on the brake line. I don't want that to happen, so I'm gonna. That's what that bungee cord's for. But anyway, here comes the first one. And it should come right out, because we've got everything removed. And I need a little bit more height. And there it is. Go ahead and dump the rest of the fork oil out of the bottom of it. I know there's some more in the reservoir. But that's the front fork. Front seal, this is the dust cover right here for the fork seal. The fork seal's underneath. This is all going to come apart, this whole thing here in a little bit, and I'll be sliding a new seal in there. Well, I'm going to break these forks down real quick, and hopefully real quick. But basically what I'm doing right now, here's the other leg. I put some WD-40 up at the top because there's a little bit of rust up in there from the old days, and I wanted to release that nut. But inside of here is an Allen head bolt. You'll probably see that. I'm going to take that off and release all the inside components. I'm going to take this cap off here, and that'll allow me to pull the springs out. That's what I'm getting ready to do here. And in order to actually hold the fork leg, I use this crescent wrench, and the black electrical tape you see on there is my version of anti-scratch. I didn't want to scratch this fork leg up. So I put that on there, and I'm holding the fork leg. And it'll take a while. You just got to unscrew this with this Allen wrench. And it's on there pretty good. I don't need leverage, so I don't have a ratchet that has this particular size Allen wrench, so I'm using this open end wrench on the end of the Allen wrench. That's what I'm doing. I'll get at it for a few minutes, and then when I'm ready, I'll let you guys take a look at the inner workings of the fork. But I'm really getting to the point now where I gotta start getting after it, turn on the speed so I can get this project done. So it's more time working, less time talking. I tell you what, this has been a struggle getting these fork tubes apart. There is a Allen head bolt right here. It goes in the bottom of this fork tube, and it goes into the damping rod. And the damping rod was spinning inside the fork tube, and I couldn't get this thing to come out. So I put a little bit of air behind it. It came out. But here's the fork cap that's been taken off, and this is the dust cover. I've removed it and the seal. So as I dump this out, you see the spring coming out. And if I jerk this real hard, it'll pull the seal off, which is what I need, and that's the seal right there. This is what I'm actually after to replace. So that's coming out. And here is a little damping rod that was giving me a little bit of issues earlier. But that's the inside of a fork, and that's all the trouble you got to go to just to replace that seal right there. So I'm going to get back at it. I thought you might be interested. It's pretty cool stuff. Well, I've slid the new seal in. It's sitting right here. And it takes a particular tool to slide down here and hammer that seal down. And mine's a homemade version. This is actually a piece of 1.5" PVC. It's a slip coupler. And this is also 1.5". It's galvanized. And once again, you see my black anti-scratch tape that I use. I just slide this on here. I'm going to slide it down. I'm going to pound this on here. And it doesn't take a lot of pressure, just enough, and then it'll be ready to go. Alright, here we go. Both of them are finished, put back together. Got the new dust seals on top, or the old dust seals, but the new fork seals are inside. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put them back on the bike, and then after I get the brakes hooked back up and the anti-dive system hooked back up, get it all sealed up, I'll end up taking the caps off again, pulling out the fork springs, and I'll end up adding the fork oil then. So I'm going to get back after putting the bike together. Alright, well, the fork legs are back on, and I'm putting the fork fluid back in. I'm putting 350 cc's in the tube, and then I'm going to do a little measurement from the top of the fork tube down to the oil level. I'm looking for 15 inches there, so basically dump this stuff in. Once the oil's in, you need to go down to the fork tube and pump it a few times. And I pump it till you can actually hear the air gurgling. But what you're doing is putting the fork oil back in there where the damping rod is, getting rid of all the air. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to come up here and measure. Alright, my oil levels are good. So, time to close this baby up. Alright, I'm going to finish putting it together. Well, I'm winning the battle. It's front end's back together, cowling's back on, front fender's back on. Now I need to adjust the accelerator and decelerator cables for the throttle. There's a little bit of play in it, and the adjustments are already maxed up front. So I'm going to do that, then I'm going to put it back together and be done with it. Alright, it's done, it's back together. You can see all the plastics back on, and I have got to go ahead and fire it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and take it out and clean it off real good, run it down the road, make sure the fork seals are doing their job, and then I got good adjustments up front. So, if you want to hear what this baby sounds like, I'll see you guys later. Thought I'd go ahead and show you guys one more thing. This is my homemade garage fabricated light stand. These are just 3 shop lights I bought over at the Lowe's, and they got some natural light bulbs in them. Nothing fancy. This is what I've been using to light everything I've been doing, and we use it on everything. This is a piece of steel fence post, and then I bought 4 casters, which is on the ground in there to roll this thing around in. And it's a piece of 2-inch square that I welded together and welded this post to. That's it. So if you're interested in that at all, behind the scenes of my independent film, that's it.